Trust me, this is the most underrated speedrun of all time. I'm Grumbliest, and I speedrun some of the most obscure and downright terrible games you'll ever see. And after looking for a while, somehow I stumbled onto this gem. The game is called Crayola Colorful Journey, and on the surface it looks like nothing, just another auto-scroller type game, really similar to the last one I picked up, Build-A-Bear, but this time the crayon mechanic changes everything. To put it simply, red is your basic path or wall, it floats. Green works the same way, except it's slippery. If you stand on it, you're suddenly sliding. Combine that with blue, and things get really crazy. Blue lets you stand on what you draw, and then you can flick it with the Wiimote while you're still on top, sending you flying. To keep this speed, you can use the green slide crayon to zoom across the rest of the level. Every new trick, every clever use of colour unlocks an entire new route, and this isn't a speedrun you can just finish once and move on. It's one that just keeps opening into something endlessly improvable. And that's why I say, this might be one of the most expandable speedruns on the Wii, and certainly one of the most underrated. I spent some time routing the game and managed to beat it in under 20 minutes. You're about to see the potential, let's go. Crayola Colorful Journey. It's a game, I almost want to let it speak for itself. I'm going to struggle to keep up in this commentary with some of the skips, etc., so do bear with me. But you'll see here the menuing is exquisite, you know, it saves me a total of 2 seconds, so that's great, but yeah. I love to use the blue as like a flick tool to slide with the green. So you'll see here, using it as a flick and then using the green as like a kind of slide to carry that momentum. That's something that's really common throughout this run, so get used to seeing that. And I think I did quite a good job explaining it in the intro. But yeah, so sometimes I get a lot more speed than others, as it's not necessarily the most consistent game, that's something I will say. A lot of resets went into this run, and just imagine doing this with a Wii controller, like a Wii remote. And that's exactly what I'm doing here. You know, they aren't really necessarily known for their accuracy with these motion controls. But yeah, you'll notice that I'm moving quite quickly in this speedrun. And actually, we're coming up to a quick skip here. If I slightly draw this ladder, fall off, then finish it, it makes the load zone spawn in. So that's something right there, a little trick. But yeah, so you'll notice I'm actually walking rather quickly in this speedrun, and that is because the harder the difficulty, the faster you move. So we put it on max difficulty here, which the only difference in the difficulties are it doesn't stop you before a hazard. So you'll see kind of sometimes there are bridges that need to be built or things where you can fall off, and the game would, on the lower difficulties, stop you from falling into the trap, whereas in the higher ones, it's a little bit more difficult. Which we can use to our advantage at some point, but, you know, it can be quite irritating. So here we got to build the cloud to give us some of the wind and then create the sail. Another little trick I've discovered is you can actually draw something and then use it to push the boat, and that's actually faster than using the wind, which I find quite funny. And yeah, just lots of these inventive ideas. It really goes and ties into how inventive the speedrun really is. And I do recommend you guys give it a go. It's a lot harder than it looks. That's all I'll say, a lot harder. So yeah, so just getting into some facts about the game. This was released on the 31st of March 2009. And it's, I don't really know how to describe it really. It was developed by Funcrank and Stray Bullet Games and published by Crave Entertainment, which love their licensed games. And that's the end of level 1 there. But they love their licensed games, and I plan to play a couple of them. The next one being Trigger Man, which is an Xbox original game. Anyway, moving on to the second level here, we've got Boardwalk. This is an interesting level. It's not necessarily my favorite or my least favorite. I think we have our first mistake in the speedrun here coming up. But yeah, a team of nearly 70 people made this game, and I think there are more devs than active players, to be honest. Ever, I'd say. Actually, it might not be a mistake then. I might be incorrect. But yeah, I can't really describe it, to be honest, this game. You know, it looks simple. Like, it looks like you draw a flick and then you draw a slide. But the utter precision you need, like, I can't even describe it. Like, if you've never used the Wii, you won't understand, but just notice every single time I'm going back to change the crayon. Like, every single time I change the crayon, I'm moving to that tiny corner of the screen. Tiny quarter of the screen. And it's just really difficult, but I've just got my ways. I've got my ways with it. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, who actually owned Crayolas as a kid? Like, you know, the like little crayons. Honestly, I love the... I hated the white crayon. Like, what is the point of a white crayon? The paper you're drawing on's white, man. Like, why is that even a thing? But yeah, this game's only released in the United States, to the best of my knowledge. And obviously me, being British, had to get this shipped from the USA, and it did cost me a pretty penny to do so, but I reckon it's worth it, being the most underrated speed game of all time and all. But I can't remember what the type of this genre of game is. It's like a kind of A to B side scroll. There's a specific name of the genre. I'll try and make it come to my head soon. There's a couple of Crayola games actually released. There's one on the DS called Crayola Treasure Adventures, released around a similar time, but I haven't tried any of these other games out, only this one. But it's just been so interesting to me. As soon as I saw footage of it, I was surprised there hasn't been a speedrun. It does look like a lot of potential. And there's definitely is a lot of potential, I can confirm. And something I haven't mentioned yet at all is about the yellow crayons. You'll notice I don't use it, I don't think, throughout the entire run. That was a close one there. I don't use it throughout the entire run at all. And that's because I haven't found a use for it. It just seems to be a worse version of the blue crayon, which is quite funny. Honestly, this every time I use the blue crayon, it feels like I'm Tony Hawk, like kick flipping or something. Have you ever, and also, as always, leave me a comment if you played this game in your childhood. I absolutely love it when people find the videos, which, you know, never happens. I've got 29 subscribers, but if you played this as a kid and now you're watching it, because it must hold a dear place in your heart. I know it would if it were me. Yeah, I don't think modern kids know what crayons are anymore. It's literally just iPads and iPhones. Oh, this new generation and their phones. Oh yeah, so this is one of the first mistakes of the speedrun. I made a bit of an oopsie doing it that late, but not the end of the world there. Nice recovery. And I'll reiterate for the third time, this is a lot harder than it looks, so be quiet if you're judging me right now. This is one of the major errors I make in the speedrun here. This is just literally brain dead. I don't know what I'm doing. But it's not the most amount of time lost in the world, so I can live with it. But no, if you're in America, I would recommend picking this game up. I mean, you know, $2 to $6, like as a loose game. You can't go wrong, really. Bargain bin. And this part as well, just yet another fumble. One of the rare fumbles I make in this run. Honestly, I'm just still waiting for the purple DLC crayon. That's like teleports you. And that was really good there. I used that crayon to avoid the ladder, as the game decided to, what's it called? Walk me into the crayon instead of on the ladder, which saves a little bit of time. This is definitely my least favorite level. I wouldn't say it's the hardest, but I mean, maybe it is the hardest. It's between this and the final level. I can't really tell which is which in terms of difficulty, but honestly, I'm glad. I kind of know this game inside out now, the amount of times I've reset. And this run is surprisingly good. I didn't expect to get it this early, and I'm glad I did, because hearing the intro, like kind of main menu music enough times will make any man go crazy, believe me. Especially on your weekend when you're supposed to be chilling out after work. After a long week of work. And I wish there was a little skip for this part, but no, we just play it as intended here, just drawing everything. And I don't know if it's just me, the more obscure a game is, the more I like to play it. I mean, all these kind of, you know, Super Mario Galaxy, I've given it a go. I don't see the appeal. I find it quite overrated, which, you know, I'm more into Crayola. Oh my gosh. But it does feel like Mario Maker if Nintendo outsourced the level design to a kindergarten art class. I'm not gonna lie. And this part, that'll trick some people up. Forgetting to use the green slide there. Definitely. But yeah, if you got any other ideas in terms of how... Oh yeah, this was stupid as well. Another mistake. But it's fine. It's not too much time lost. But yeah, if anyone's got any ideas on how this run can be improved, you know what to do. You know what to do. Yet again, this is stupid. The dog's in the way. You'll notice the dog gets in the way sometimes. And especially when you're trying to draw, if the dog is where you're trying to draw, it just doesn't let you. Which can be very frustrating. Yeah, again, just wasting more time here, but... I'm hoping one of these days someone watches one of these videos that I make, and well, I'll leave it at that really. I hope they watch it. But further to that, I hope that I find like my arch enemy that kind of like watches me speedrun Crayola and just goes, you know what, I can do better than this guy, and I'd love to see you try. And there's something really strange coming up. There's a part of the level which contains a skateboard, which it's like lags as well. Like the frame rate dies, and it's one of the strangest parts of any level in this game. It's just this random skateboard that you can actually use. You'll see here. Like what? It's just so random. But yeah, I've got a few games coming up that I'm going to be doing soon, including a little bit of How to Train Your Dragon, which I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with on the Xbox 360, the second game. And still working on Trigger Man a little bit. Now I fixed my Xbox controller, that's going to be coming up soon. So if you want to get your obscure games fix, you know where to go, guys. But yeah, so that's level 3, the toy, what was it again? Toy store, apparently, even though it's literally just not a toy store. Okay, so, you know when you hear this music, you gotta lock in. That's all I'm gonna say. I like to play this level quite safe. It's quite a risky level. I can't really... There's a lot of death drops in this level. And it used to be a problem in terms of me losing lives, but since I've improved a lot of the game, just like all these little maneuvers, like I can't even describe how difficult they are to do. Like unless you play the game, you won't get it. Like, and just the pure accuracy. I'm watching myself here, and I'm actually like impressed. I mean, there's a lot of issues with this run. Don't get me wrong. It can be improved, probably by about 45 seconds, 50 seconds, probably, but or more, probably more, but in terms of what I could do. But no, I watched this run and I'm pretty proud of a lot of my movements with it. I say that during when I'm failing in the run, but oh well. And then this bit really annoyed me because I didn't actually know what happened there. But yeah, something you've got to watch out for in this run, in a very minor amount of areas, is this bit specifically, that one, especially on harder difficulties. It's quite a bad drop there. But you've got to watch out for your amount of crayons you're using. So here I go for a risky throw maneuver, which I do get both of them, which is quite good. And here I'm supposed to use the green there, but it was a mistake. In the end, I think it does help me though, as I land right at the end of this podium, so not too bad. I like to collect a couple of these here. Make sure I've got enough crayon for the rest of the level. But you gotta admit, for a 19-minute speed run, it's quite a relaxing one. It's not necessarily really hectic. I mean, it doesn't look it. It's a lot more hectic than it looks, but no, it is relaxing once you get good. As soon as you know what, like, if you know the route and you know how you're gonna go about it, it is really fun. Especially further into the game, once you're not resetting on level 1 over and over again. It really does get better. I mean, there's a little bit of a mistake here, but I'm not too fussed. I know there isn't enough going wrong in my run for me to be complaining, to be honest. Especially for a game like this. So like that was a bit of time lost there, but I'm not too fussed, and I'm a bit of a perfectionist, as some of you may know. So, oh well. Yeah, this bit turned out really well. I'm happy with this level. As it's just with these cogs that you can turn in the lower difficulties, they're a lot easier to use. It's the only one trade-off we use when we pick the hardest difficulty, is the cogs, they actually stop where they're supposed to when you just, do them as fast as possible on the lower difficulties. But in the higher ones, they just endlessly spin in a circle, so you have to be quite accurate with them. I think this is the only proper use of the red crayon in the entire run. And I didn't even do it properly, so... But oh well. We're on the home stretch now, so... not trying to take too many risks. But as I say, a lot of holes in the floor around here, so... around these parts. Yeah, so this was stupid, but it's fine. It's right at the beginning of the level, so I'm not too fussed. But yeah, once you play a game for an entire weekend, and you just... you're happy with it. I mean, this is yet again another thing that just went wrong. Really, really unlucky here. Got stuck in the podium. I mean, one of those glitches you get once in a blue moon. Try to get out of it, but it's got to be a reset. So that's a little bit more time. So maybe it's a bit more than 45 seconds to save, but I don't know how to explain. Yeah, it's a lot harder than it looks, so we're not going to be here all year. And there are some unnecessary risks I took to kind of account for the mistakes I made, which I tend to do to kind of offset the risk. So when I make a lot of mistakes, I tend to kind of compensate with risky maneuvers that save time. So I did do it here, and that did save me a little bit of time than it normally would. So yeah, we're really on the home stretch here. I'm actually so happy that I'm about to complete the run that I start drawing in the way here. And I'm like, oh shit. And then, yeah, so this is the end of the run here. And very quick. And this game does have a story, by the way, but I've never watched it, and I never will, because I don't care. I only care about the beautiful movement, and I hope you do too. So, hope you enjoyed, and I'll leave you with a little bit of questionable music. Thanks for watching.